Big
Awesome.
guest tonight. We got
Yeah.
Milo.
Milo, I have seen hours of you on YouTube.
I'm so
I
sorry.
yeah, if people don't know who Milo is, he is like a pinch hitter special guest. This is my impression of him anyway, on these news shows. When some like fucking whale of a feminist comes on and says that my dorm room at Yale with the Steinway piano downstairs is not a safe space, they bring in Milo to harpoon her. When some feminist says that we are not making equal pay compared to guys, they bring in Milo to point out her humanities degree.
A modern day Ahab.
Do you know the best thing is I have a very young fan base, and as a result, they are the most enthusiastic, like memers and photoshoppers and whatever. One of the most common things they do is they do me as like Ahab on like a movie poster with a giant harpoon and this sort of huge whale, and pick whatever feminist of the month it is that I destroyed, like on Sky News most recently. This poor little feminist in the whale's head. But yeah, no, it's a metaphor I'm very fond of. So thank you for that introduction.
I thought it was original idea. I thought of it while driving today.
Oh, I'm sorry. But whatever you thought of, 4chan got there first, and probably 6 months beforehand.
Yeah, undoubtedly. So how do you like this job of yours? Like, I don't know. Is this a good gig?
I get paid to be me. I have the best job in the world. I get paid to ridicule and to humiliate the worst people on the internet. You know, the bullies and abusers, the social justice lunatics who are most guilty of all of the things they preach against. You know, they are the people who are the bigots, the bullies, the harassers. They are the people who make people's lives a misery for no good reason. They are the people who come after people on the basis of skin color, sexual orientation, you know, the famed evil straight white male. My job is to make these people's lives miserable, because they deserve to be miserable, because they are terrible, awful, abusive, dreadful people. And I get paid to do this. It's the best job in the world.
I think they're wrong, but I think their heart is in the right place. No?
No. My view on this is slightly different. I mean, you can take a charitable interpretation. You can say, well, you know, social justice, isn't that a good idea? I mean, like, in principle, don't we all want to be equal? Well, yes, we did. And we do, of course. Like, everybody believes in equality of access and opportunity. Everybody believes that, you know, that everybody, regardless of skin color, sexuality, orientation, wherever you come from, whoever you are, you should have equal access to all of the institutions that Western civilization has to provide, has to offer. That's not what feminists want. Feminism has morphed into a sort of female chauvinism, into a sort of female supremacy that is intent on ridiculing and demeaning and belittling men. And it's also not what the Black Lives Matter movement wants. It isn't interested in equality. It's interested, again, in black chauvinism. And amazingly, like mind-blowingly, it's interested in segregation. It wants black people carved off into, you know, separate dorm rooms, separate safe spaces. The KKK and Black Lives Matter don't use much of the same language, but the world they want us to get to isn't that different. So my mission in life is to remind people that equality was a good idea when people were actually fighting for it. But the current generation of social justice warriors we have, in my view, are just a new generation of authoritarian bullies. In the 90s, it was perhaps the religious right who wanted to tell everybody else how to live. The people that Marilyn Manson and Bret Easton Ellis were annoying on a daily basis. Those were the guys, you know, who everybody likes to wind up because they were the bad guys, they were the authoritarians, they were like trying to tell everybody what a morally virtuous life looked like. If you want to be a bully today, you don't join the church, you go get a job at Gawker. And these people aren't virtuous, upstanding citizens. These people aren't fighting for equality or justice. These people are bullies.
Okay, so there was a study, it came out in 2013, that showed that girls got higher grades based on how attractive they are, regardless of the gender of the teacher, whereas with guys, how attractive they were had no impact on their grades.
Yes.
That doesn't imply that there's still progress to be made?
No, it doesn't. No, not at all. I mean, it's what people don't understand about, you know, like women having competitive advantage for being hot is that it's precisely that, a competitive advantage. You know, if you can be bothered to make yourself look good, you will get advantage in the workplace. And let's remember that, you know, this isn't like, you know, you don't get born as like some sort of hideous blue-haired land whale. You choose to become that because you've decided to drop out of society and you've decided to give up on beauty standards and give up on yourself. And you have you have such low self-esteem, or you hate the world, you hate your parents so much, whatever it is, you've decided to eat, to become fat, to get piercings, to get blue hair. You've decided to turn yourself into the most unattractive and repugnant specimen that you can imagine. That's fine, but you don't get any of the benefits that go with looking good. And the difference between women and men is women can make themselves look good. Men are kind of stuck with what they have because there's a limited amount. There's a limited amount that any of us can do. We don't have the hair options, the clothes options, the figure options. One of the things that my female friends who work in technology always tell me is that, there's all this sort of stuff like, where a hot woman walks in the room and everyone's looking at her, and these crazy feminists say that this is an example of sexism. And my friends are like, are you fucking kidding me? I spend 3 hours a week in the gym, and if I walk in the room, everybody's looking at me. All eyes are on me. That is the most extraordinary competitive advantage, which no man has. And it's there for the taking for any woman who chooses to take advantage of it. And it's also not a zero-sum game. It's not something that, if some women have it, other women can't have it. All women can be hot if they choose to be, and if they do choose to be, every man will be like, kind of following them around with their tongues rolling out. Look at the extra attention that women get when they run technology startups, or indeed anything else. Look at any supplement where women are women in tech, women in politics, women in business. Women get more attention, not less. They are immediately listened to. They get more plaudits, more platforms, more money, more special treatment, and that doesn't just go for the workplace, but right the way down to education, where there are special programs for women, programs to get women into any subject you care to mention. There will be a specific grant, bursary, scholarship for women. There's nothing for men. Anything you care to mention. Women are structurally advantaged in a way that men perhaps, yes, used to be. But that has changed, and it's changed very quickly. It's changed inside a generation. It's changed inside the last 15 years. But the young men growing up today, who are younger than anybody on this show, the young men growing up today of 20, 22 years old do not recognize the world that feminists describe. They grow up in a world where they're put on drugs in school because they're told that they should be they're held up to sort of feminine behavior standards, and if they're too boisterous, they get put on Adderall. What is it? 1 in 7 American kids on Adderall now? Why? Because teaching and behavior standards have become feminized. The exams have been changed to suit the way that women learn better. More coursework, less exams, because that's what women are good at, with the result that women are now going into university more. There are more women at university, more female graduates. Women get higher grades, lower attrition rates for women. The young people, my audience, people sort of 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I mean, lots of older people read me too, but the people I really kind of work for, I guess, but other people who are living through a society that is structurally engineered against men. And that can sound so preposterous to anybody our age, but it's reality.
You're making some very strong points here. I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid.
I already drank. That was great.
Yeah,
This is why Milo
is
is however many debates he had and 0 as a win-loss record. It's